Once again, we're at our garage and test facility, so let's see what we're rolling out today. Looks like the all-new 2020 Kia Telluride. Or is it Telluride? I've heard it pronounced two different ways. Let's just say it's a big Kia. This is a vehicle a lot of people have been waiting for. And here it is. And our rear view. Again with big letters to let you know what you're driving. By the way, I recently tested two other all-new SUVs a couple weeks ago. This brand new Chevrolet Blazer and this Subaru Ascent. Both of these vehicles are competitors for this Kia Telluride. And my videos for these at the end of this Telluride video. Just click and watch. Or if you're bored, you can fast forward and tune right in. The base price starts at $31,690, but this was loaded up with just about everything. Cool flickering headlights. We'll get to those a little bit later. This is the SX version. Here's the starting price of $43,490. I'll scroll down and show you all the standard equipment you're getting. Here's row 1. Row 2. And we're coming up on some options we really don't need but want anyway. With the total fee right here. A common figure for vehicles in this class. I might be jumping ahead of myself, but I did put around 70 miles on this before we came out here. And I'm telling you, I'm very, very impressed. This is one of the best vehicles Kia's ever put out. And one of the best vehicles of SUVs in this class. I'm not supposed to say that till the end of the video. So let's go and look at some of the things that impress me. We can start with the cabin. Kia spent some time getting a lot of things correct. Not only are these well-designed seats, this is some of the best smelling leather I've had in a long time. This is high-grade stuff. Something you might find in a Mercedes S-Class or Bentley. I wish you could smell it. Nice aroma. And needless to say, I won't be allowing any food or drinks in this vehicle. Also, unlike other vehicles where you have to scroll through a menu screen to get whatever function you want, here we have mainly buttons and knobs. For example, the climate control. A couple of knobs, buttons, all right there. Same with the heated and air-conditioned seats. Just reach down, push a button. No need to scroll through anything on the screen. Here you want comfort mode, sport, smart, eco, snow. Just twist the button. Don't need to scroll through the info screen for that either. And for four-wheeling, pressing this for better traction. Want the map? Just press the map button. Navigation info, navigation button, radio, radio button, media. Very simple. All the setup information, press that button. Take your pick. The glove box has plenty of room if you take out the super thick owner's manual and stick it in the back somewhere. An excellent gauge cluster with lots of useful information in between. Oh, the glare you're seeing is the camera. You don't see it in person, so don't worry about it. We get a very nice camera system. Excellent view with different choices by pressing these buttons. A nice storage bin in between the seats. Another feature I like, the door comes all the way down to the bottom of the frame. which means everything in the rocker panel door sill area stays extremely clean. No mud, snow, or sleet building up on here, so you don't get it rubbing on your pants when you get in and out of the vehicles. This is the way it should be designed, folks. Lots of room in the second row seating. A couple of questionable features you need to know about. This does have a spare tire, but you will not find it inside the vehicle. You get a flat, you're going to be crawling under here, just like a pickup truck. You're going to get dirty. That's the price you pay for having all the room inside the cabin. Also, Kia is marking this as an 8-passenger vehicle, unless you get the bucket seats in the second row. They drop it down to 7. Well, let's see. 2 in the front. We got the bucket seat second row version, so that's 2 more in the second row for a total of 4. So they're presenting the third row as a 3-passenger. As I've made my comments in the past, 3 monkeys maybe, or little kids. I think I'd really count this as 2. By my standard, this is really a 6-passenger, the way it's set up now, or 7 if you get the bench seat. I don't see fitting 8 in here, but hey, if you can do it, fine. If they want to sell it that way, that's fine. Measure it up and see how it works for you. Another official figure Kia gives us, 21 cubic feet with the third row seats up. Fold them down, you get 87 cubic feet of storage. Sounds about right. And again, so you won't forget while you're driving, they even have the Telluride emblem on the carpeting in the car. How nice. One feature that will give out mixed emotions, the so-called wood trim on the dash, which I'm told is fake. I mean, come on, this is from what, the 1960s? Nobody puts fake wood on anymore. Well, obviously they do. Fortunately, the rest of the interior is so good, I'm not going to complain too much, but we really don't need this. One feature I really liked was the side camera system activated by the turn signals. Activate the left turn signal. You see what's on your left side. Activate the right one. See what's on your right side. This works great on the freeway, especially when you got motorcycles coming up on you, like so. You can have any engine you want as long as it's the 3.8 liter V6 putting out 291 horsepower. If you get the two-wheel drive, it's rated at 20 to 26 mpg. If you order the all-wheel drive, it drops to 19 to 24 mpg, as we have here. I don't really understand that because if you disconnect the all-wheel drive, you should be getting the same as the front-wheel drive, as I found in past vehicles. We'll be racking up a lot of miles, so we'll find out for ourselves. It is hooked to an 8-speed automatic transmission, and again, we have all-wheel drive hooked up to that on this particular vehicle. By the way, if you put a tow hitch on this vehicle, it's listed at 5,000 pounds of pulling power, in case you want to do that. As we do in all my videos, we're going to take these headlights out in the dark and see how they perform before we get on the road, and we'll do that right now. It's dark enough, let's turn on these headlights and see how they perform. Like so. Here we have the low beams on a building 100 feet away. Extremely bright, good height. Certainly nothing to complain about here. Turn on the brights. Looks decent enough to me. Here we have the brights on the building 300 feet away. Extremely bright, good height, good widespread. Lights up the countryside. Go low beam. Barely reaches out. Again, a good widespread, very bright. Overall, these are excellent lights. No complaints at all. Here's what the rear view camera looks like in case you're interested. If you do a lot of driving down dark alleys, these might be the lights for you. And the turn signal operated camera system works pretty good in the dark. We'll look at those later in the daylight. Before we get on the road, I need to brief you about ride quality. This vehicle comes standard with 18-inch wheels and tires. The deluxe models like this come with giant 20-inch wheels and tires, and they recommend 35 pounds of air in each tire. When you go to a bigger tire, that means you're going to get a rougher ride and a lot of thumping on the roads and freeways. You just can't get around that. I could tell you that lowering the tire pressures down to 32 pounds will help smooth things out a bit, but they don't like me saying that because they want everything tested to factory specs. So I'm not going to tell you to do that, and we will test at factory specs, at least for the video part of this test. If you're planning on taking this Kia off-road, the official ground clearance is listed at 8 inches, but they didn't say whether this was on the 18-inch wheels or the larger 20-inch wheels. I would think if I was going to take this off-road on a regular basis, I would want the bigger 20-inch tires and the all-wheel drive system. The power steering is electric, has pretty decent feel and response. I don't think too many people will be complaining. And this is in the comfort mode. I'm not sure if I noticed much difference in the sport mode, but either way is fine with me. Will probably be fine with you as well. As we do in all my videos, we're going to take some speed bumps at 20 miles per hour to evaluate the suspension performance on impact. And I'm cheating because I do have it in the comfort mode. With these giant 20-inch tires, I suspect we're going to hear some thumping, but you never know. Here comes bump number 1. Very solid body structure. This thing's built like a tank. Number 2, we're doing 25 miles per hour. Number 3, and the big nasty one coming up. Heard the thumping, but as I said, this is a very solid body structure. Very well made vehicle. I didn't feel too much. Over the years, I've driven a lot of heavy-duty SUVs with heavy frames, like the Toyota Land Cruiser, Lexus LX 570, some heavy Mercedes models, and even though this is sort of a lightweight compared at like 4,300 pounds for the all-wheel drive or 4,100 pounds for the two-wheel drive, this vehicle is about as solid. There's nothing flimsy about this Kia at all. I'm very impressed. Almost all vehicles in this class are running around 300 horsepower, pulling just over 2 tons, so there's nothing dramatic or different here. You press the gas down, moves out more than adequate. A bit quicker than I expected, to be honest. Got nice brakes too. Just a note here, most of our city commuting we've been getting 19 to 20 mpg, but because of the accelerating runs we've been doing and other testing, it's dropped down to 16.9, which is probably the worst you're ever going to see. We'll be doing more driving, especially on the freeway, to see if we can bump up these figures. So stay tuned. The Telluride does have one design flaw. In fact, this is a flaw in all Kias overall. In fact, the flaw in all Korean cars overall. Hyundai, Genesis. And that is, when you put the vehicle out of comfort mode in sport mode, it cuts off the overdrive gears in the transmission. In city driving, losing the top overdrive gears is no big deal. I mean, how often do I need 8th gear driving under 50 miles per hour? Won't affect fuel economy that much. But on highway trips or the expressway, this can be an issue, because if you have it in sport mode to liven up the steering, handling, and shift points on the transmission, you won't be running in 8th gear, and you're going to lose some fuel economy. On the other hand, if you leave it in comfort mode to get the best fuel economy figures, you'll lose that crisp steering In many cases on certain vehicles, the firmer suspension for best stability and the performance transmission shift points. Theoretically, if you put the computer in smart mode, the brain could give you the 8th gear fuel economy at the same time these sporting characteristics, but I just can't tell if it's really doing that. I do have the vehicle in smart mode now. We'll just go from there. By the way, I see our fuel economy figures on the freeway have gone up quite a bit. 25 is certainly better than the 18 we were getting in the town. We'll be doing more freeway driving if I get the time. If you're driving on backcountry roads, now that's the time to engage the sport mode. Get those transmission shift points going and the steering beefed up. This thing handles pretty good for what is considered a large SUV by many people. The platform handles the 2-ton mass quite well, I think. And with decent ground clearance and locking wheels if you wish to engage so, I don't think we'll need it here. Off-roading ability is pretty good. Again, I'm very impressed with the solid body structure of this rig. I feel like I'm driving a tank. Did I say that already? Well, if not, I'll say it again. Very impressive. If you're driving on slick, gravelly roads, the all-wheel drive system does a great job of keeping you where you're going instead of over the side. And the suspension is doing a great job of absorbing impacts on this washboard gravel trail. By the way, the rattle noises you're hearing, that's not the vehicle, it's some cargo I have in the rear. Mainly tire repair kits and tools. This vehicle does not rattle at all. Again, very solid body structure. Looks like we've got a nasty storm coming in, so we need to wrap up this video and get out of here. In the meantime, what did I think about this vehicle after a week of driving? Bottom line, I'm very impressed. This is a well-made vehicle, very luxurious if you order all the options, like nice leather. Strong engine. I could go on, but if you watch the video, you already know the good features I liked. As far as the bad ones, they're just a few, not deal breakers. If you take this Telluride in the Stinger Sports Sedan, I'd say Kia's on their way up. In fact, what I've seen from other Korean manufacturers like Genesis and Hyundai, I'd say the entire Korea line is on the way up, compared to other manufacturers, many of which are on their way down. Here's a link to some other vehicles we've tested. Just click and watch. And it's raining, I need to get out of here.